Nice.
And I think just edited it together. But there's a moment where you're like, there are knights right now on motorcycles chasing legit just townspeople with axes, and they're like, what is going on right now? Like, they're just gonna kill them. And yeah, there's just some great stunts here, and that jump where the guy falls into the water. I know the water is like, it's a trope where it's like it's a safe landing, he doesn't really die, but that bike was in the air.
Yep.
He really did for it.
Now, this movie, though, we see when that bike goes out of control and hits that woman, she is broken. As Jim Ross would say, she is broken in half.
Yeah.
That was brutal. So there's a scene in the movie where these locals, or another rival branch, comes and tries to attack. And this motorcycle goes out of control, and it's going towards a baby. And they get the baby out of the way in time, but it smushes a woman. And the way that they bent her body, like, it looked like her arm was broke. We never hear from her again. She's going to sue.
Yeah, but again, it's 81, so it's like, it's
in
a traveling
rural
bunch of like, it's a traveling bunch of like vagrants. And they're like, what do you sue them for? They're trash cans?
Yeah, they're gone the next. They're like the Irish bare knuckle boxers.
They are. So, also one of the knights is a lady, which is like, at the time, very progressive, right? Oh, there's a lady competing with these knights, which is a neat thing. In Ontario, there's a traveling group called Knights of Valor. And so they go around from town to town in the summertime, and it's just like a not-for-profit organization, and it's eerily like this.
Oh,
where it's a group of guys, and they make their own armor and they train their own horses, and it's like, it started off as a horse rescue. So any horse that was going to get put down or go to the dog food factory, they would adopt it and train it to become like a knight's horse. And so they come to anywhere that has like a horse arena, and they put on a night show very much like this without motorcycles. So I took my youth group to go see it one year, and so all these knights come out, and they're like, and we have, Lady, Zelda, and so they had this one female knight, but they do a legit joust. They just joust each other.
Wow.
And so when you go to a joust, Mark, all you want, like, your animal instinct comes out, and all you want to see is someone get knocked off a horse. That's why you paid your money. That's what you want to see. And so they're doing this joust, and they're breaking lances. These guys are staying on the horses. The lady knight comes out, and she gets destroyed.
Oh,
and
no.
Like, midair, I have a video somewhere on my computer of it, because I was really into taking videos of it at that point in time. And she just like tangs and hits the ground hard. And never have you seen a more confused crowd, because normally you cheer for the knight that won. You're like, yes, but you're like, it's the one lady here, and now she got possibly hurt. We can't really cheer for that, but we can't boo the other guy because it was just a really weird situation.
And also, it's all fun and games until someone gets destroyed. So if someone gets knocked off their horse and gets up, yay! But when someone gets obliterated,
yeah, it was super awkward. And so this reminded me of that.
She was awesome, though. She preaches what I teach. Basics.
There you go.
So so I annoy my students, Adam. When I taught public speaking, I would show them pictures of 5 different buildings, and I was like, what do they all have in common? No one got it right. I'm like, well, they all have a foundation. And now that I'm teaching film, it's the basics, because if you know the basics, you can go on any set. So the whole time when she's talking about the basics, I was like, I like her. She's my favorite character.
Absolutely. You know what relationship I loved?
Which one?
I loved Morgan and was it Julie?
Yeah. The grease monkey.
Yeah, and because you could tell that they were in a romantic relationship, but first they were just best friends.
Yep.
They were just like this weird like familiarity they had down pat, and I thought that was pretty groovy.
And they called each other out for it. He's like, you need to think you're better than what you are. And then she would go at, like, they've made some very pointed, like, their arguments weren't like, you're a craphead, or you're a juice box. They just, I don't know.
Juice box?
Yeah, you're a juice box. There's not much in you and you empty quick. I don't know. And then you can be squished. But there things that they said to them were only things that people who know each other could say. And that scene where Savini is, he's the Black Knight in the movie, but when he says to her, you think you don't think you're good enough, or he says something along that line. I'm like, that's a very pointed thing to say. He knows her.
And it's pretty evident. It's just their chemistry's off the charts. Now, did you, like me, feel like this movie ended 3 times?
Yes.
When Tom Savini like leaves and joins like the legit kind of like motorcycle circuit,
and that has become such a trope when people leave with a bad artist. Like every biopic ever, right?
Yeah.
They leave with the jerky lawyer. In this case, the guy from Jurassic Park who gets bit in half on the toilet. And then he's doing this photo shoot where he's in next to nothing, being like that's every biopic ever, like Queen or Bohemian Rhapsody. He gets lured away. That was did that start this trope?
It might have. I think if we look back, this might have started that trope.
Just getting dragged away and how many movies has that happened in though? Where
all of them.
One person breaks away, then they become too famous, and they go back to their roots.
Yeah, and it culminated in Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh!
Oh, what a movie!
Oliphant.
Yeah, so I didn't know what or who the villain was in this movie.
There isn't one. Maybe consumerism, the outside world.
Well, at first,
William himself, Billy.
Yeah, I think it's a man versus himself story. But at first I thought it was going to be those two like goofy policemen. Like they were going to be like the walking tall kind of antagonists.
Oh, they were not goofy though. They were brutal, right?
They were brutal, but they gave the impression of like Otis, right? Like they were, but they were just like ruthless. And then I thought that was going to be the story, but that quickly, I think it was just like, I think it was Billy against himself. And can he handle running this group? Is it too big for him? Has it gotten bigger? Has it got away from the basics of their group?
Yep.
To go back to your lesson.
So, you know what I was reading about this movie, and apparently, sorry to interrupt, but they're saying Knightriders was Romero's labor of love, a semi-autobiographical, non-horror story about a Renaissance troupe led by Billy, a King Arthur figure played by Ed Harris in his first leading role. In the movie, Billy and his queen lead a troupe, blah, 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 blah. But they're saying promoters, fans, and money concerns, and then it intrudes on their utopia. And they're saying that's also with Romero, because they're saying that the troupe of medieval armor-wearing roustabout wrestles with just how much they can sell out, or if they can sell out at all, just the way Romero must have. He felt the pull of Hollywood to be sure, but stayed in Pittsburgh. So
absolutely.
I mean, do you think? I think the lawyer's the bad guy. The outside world is the bad guy, right? Yeah,
they're just kind of wrestling with what's actually happening to their group, right? Their group is changing, and I don't think Billy can handle that change.
Hey, nothing gold can stay, right?
No, and if you plateau, you're failing.
Yep.
It's always been my mantra.
If you plateau?
Yeah.
Well, I like it. I just read that book, Infinite Jest, and there's a whole 50 pages on how to get over plateauing in tennis.
That's dynamite.
That book destroyed my mind.
It would destroy your mind. But I think that tennis is a weird thing to begin with. I don't know how they keep score. I'm not sure how you get good at it. But yeah, you don't want to plateau in tennis. That's my biggest fear. It keeps me up at night.
Yeah. You almost canceled this podcast because you were so worried. You were just watching Pete Sampras clips last night.
That's right. And I was just trying to think like 15, 30, 40 love. How does that work into the whole thing?
Should I serve volley? Should I just stay on the baseline?
Right. Exactly.
Should I spin serve? Like, what are the benefits? Should I slice my backhand? You were a wreck.
Yes. Now, another thing I loved about this movie, to get away from tennis for a second, is the gang's commitment to wear like pirate shirts when they're not performing. Like they live the gimmick.
Yeah. And that one guy, I love this guy tells Billy, you're picking up all these long hairs. So do you think these are kind of some... I think they embrace that lifestyle. It's easy, right? I mean, those shirts, every shirt looks comfortable. If I was in the woods in Pittsburgh in the summer, I'd be wearing those shirts.
Well, here's the thing. It's 1981. You're in your second last year of high school, just got out of high school, not too sure what to do with your life. And this group comes through your town and you can join. You're going to go for a while with them. You're going to try it out.
Oh, for sure. And
no questions asked.
You know what I also love is Romero doesn't, a lot of these things all right, so when people used to come to Comic-Cons or food events or film sets, they're like, man, this is the coolest place in the world. But if they did 5 events in a row and worked 5 events in a row, or they stayed on the film set for a month, they're like, this is terrible. So I like how they established the outsider coming in, the girl Julie coming in.
Yeah.
She has her bad family life. But then you also realize pretty soon that their life is not ideal.
I did not picture Alan. Like, I thought the whole movie was like gearing Alan up to be like the virtuous man, like the guy who's going to like do the right thing, but he kind of takes and plays Julie as a fool.
Oh yeah, he picks her up, then he realizes that he likes Lynette, and then he drops her back off at a horrible home.
Right. And
well,
you're just like, thanks for the fun.
I mean, I guess he's done it before though, and he knows that Julie's kind of using him to get away, and it's not a long-term solution for her. So
right.
Maybe he thinks he's being righteous, but he never should have picked her up then if he knows that.
No, exactly. So it's one of those things where like, who's your moral barometer in this movie?
Well, it's not Billy.
No, because I think Billy has some big psychological problems.
Yes, major psychological. He's major. So, all right, how about this? It's probably Morgan.
No, I would say that it's an old bait and switch that in the first scene of the movie, it would have been better if Morgan would have became king.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you think about it, pay off the cops, give them $500. They already know they could go to bigger venues, still keep their lifestyle, and make 10,000 more.
Yeah, no, that the paying off the cops was the right thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. And then so they're off your case, and so I don't know. And also Morgan kind of gets the hero's journey a little bit.
Yep.
So Billy doesn't get a hero's journey at all. Alan he's a lecherous man.
He's awful.
Well, but then we have Morgan, who he signs the contract. He meets, so he has his nice lifestyle. He's with I forget her name. She calls herself the Grease Monkey all the time. Romero's wife. I keep forgetting her name. But so he's with her.
Angie.
Yeah, Angie, and he's with her. He just likes riding motorcycles. He thinks this is good. Then he gets some fame. He realizes how empty it is and what it's doing to them. And then he comes back, and I think he's going to be a good leader.
Yeah, absolutely.
This movie it's a lot.
There's a lot going on. There's
many minutes, and there's a lot going on.
Do you've done the con circuit a lot? Do you know the Universal Designs guy who does the motorcycle suits?
No, I don't.
His name is David Paya. And so his company's called Universal Designs. He does all the cons. He makes licensed motorcycle suits. So he'll make like a Batman motorcycle suit or like a Daredevil and they're movie accurate. They're fantastic. And they're like motorcycle grade leather. But he looks exactly like Tom Savini. And he also used to be a makeup artist. So we used to call him Canadian Tom Savini.
Hey, before we go on break, I got something to drop on you. So the first AD on this movie, he ended up moving up working for Wes Craven, a bunch of people. First assistant director. He gave everybody nicknames. And for some reason, every time he gave someone a nickname, it stuck. So
nice.
He on this movie, though, prior to this, he started calling Tom Savini Sleaze. And Tom Savini hated it. And there on the commentary table, I guess for the rest of it, Savini got the guy to change his nickname because he just hated Sleaze, so he changed it. But Savini so even though the first AD changed his nickname to something else, everyone just kept calling him Sleaze because it stuck. And Romero's wife was laughing in the commentary booth. She's like, "Yeah, we still call you Sleaze."
So I haven't been to a con in a long time. But the next local one I see where Tom Savini's there, I'm going to go just so I can get his autograph.
Don't do it.
Be like, hey, can you sign it Sleaze?
Yeah, hey, I listened to the Knightriders commentary. You should open with that.
Yeah. Open with I love your work on Knight Rider. Yeah. Can you sign this from Sleaze?
In a diplomatic way, though. Don't go at him like a honey badger on Mountain Dew.
No, never. Or on a mountain burger.
All right, so how about this? Let's drink some Mountain Dew while drinking a mountain burger. Wait. Let's eat some Mountain Dew, and let's drink a mountain burger. And when we come back, we'll talk more Knightriders. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And yes, we did drink mountain burgers. How was it, Adam?
It's, you know what? It was smooth going down. But then it gets a little caught in your throat, so you had to chase it down with some Mountain Dew. But then to cleanse the palate, I took a big swig of some real authentic ginger beer, and now we're ready to go.
So I was thinking about this yesterday, and on our Constantine pod, and in our Icebroker. What did I say last night, or in the Constantine pod, where I just called someone like oh man, you listen to it. I called someone a horrible name by accident.
You did, and I forget what it was, but I remember thinking, I'm going to make Mark a t-shirt for his birthday that says that.
And so Icebreaker, they have mountain burgers, and so in the Constantine pod, we were talking about people chugging real, like legit spicy ginger beer. And I was thinking about that, just a guy in a bar sitting by himself, slugging ginger beer. That's a guy you don't want to mess with. The reason you don't want to mess with